Hey everybody. I was in the store the other day and I noticed something on sale. Probably didn't sell very well because it's weird. So it's this Folios cheese wraps. So they're making a gluten-free and, as it turns out, lactose-free replacement for your typical tortilla. And what they've done is make a roughly, I'm guessing about 10-inch diameter circle of cheese. It's cheddar. And they've made it in such a way, and I'm pretty sure it's just, however, in the cheese making process, somebody made a batch that was a little rubbery. And what they realized when they sliced it was that it's rollable. As you can see, there's a little bit of cracking if you really manhandle this, but otherwise it's rollable. So you can use this as a wrap. And it's, even fewer carbs than your typical tortilla. So even though people use tortillas to make a wrap instead of a sandwich with two slices of bread, you have just a tortilla. But even then, there's still some carbs, and they typically are made with lard or shortening. So they're kind of high in fat. Now these, let's see here, are still kind of high in fat, actually. I mean, it's cheese. So 13 grams of fat, 8 of it saturated per cheese wrap. So, but 1 gram of carbs, and it's 40 milligrams of cholesterol. It's not too bad. 11 grams of protein, if you're interested in that. Flavor wise, it's cheddar. It's a mild to medium cheddar. And looking at the ingredients, it is just cheese, but the texture is a little different. The flavor doesn't exactly bloom in the mouth. So I don't know exactly how this was made, but I can see that it would work as a wrap. I was kind of curious looking at the back for the recipe suggestions. So you could heat this, and it's still just cheese, so it will do what cheese does. It will melt. But if you heat it long enough or past a certain point, cheese not only melts, but then it kind of crisps up. That's something that you can do with like Parmesan. That's a classic thing, is get a silicone baking sheet and put little piles of Parmesan on it, a little bit of black pepper, stick it in the oven and let it melt and then crisp up. And just before it starts to start turning brown, you pull it out, let it cool, and then peel those crisps off, and they're like little crackers. Same thing happens to this. So technically speaking, you can use this in a way like a tortilla. You can crisp this up, and it actually tells you how to do it in either the conventional oven or a microwave oven. Get it to the point where it melts and basically stops bubbling. Then you can pull it out and use it either like a big torta, or what you can do is actually break it up and into tortilla chips, but it's totally cheese, or fold it over something into a crunchy taco shell that is entirely made out of cheese. And it does actually mention using it, just melting it in between regular tortillas to make a quesadilla, because it is still just cheese. But if I'm going to have a quesadilla and I'm going to actually bother to buy a cheese wrap, I kind of want this to be the tortilla. So can you make a quesadilla with this? And as it turns out, the answer is yes, You can. Sort of. Doesn't work in the pan. Not great, anyway. The heat of the pan is just too great. It melts too fast. So what I ended up doing was using the microwave instructions, microwaving each of these folio cheese wraps individually. They come on parchment paper for about a minute, minute 15. Obviously, it's going to depend on the power of your microwave. But once it melts and then just stops bubbling, that's when it starts to actually get kind of hard. Do each of those individually, then put the toppings on whatever was going into your quesadilla. I have some ham and some more cheese into this. Cheese is really kind of the binder in the middle of any quesadilla, so you kind of have to have that, even though your tortilla is made out of cheese as well. And then heated for just like another 20 seconds. So you need to obviously have cooked ingredients in the middle. But as you can hear, it comes out with a nice crispy exterior. It's a little tough, which is kind of expected considering this is sort of more protein rich than actual, gluten or flour. But what you end up with is something not too different from a quesadilla. Plenty of texture, a lot of cheesy flavor, obviously. No, I didn't actually didn't look to see what the normal retail price of this is, but it was on sale for 99 cents. And for that you get, how many did I get? I think I got 6. 6 of these cheese wraps. Let's just say, because it's on clearance, let's say that it's $3 a pack. So on a per tortilla or whatever basis, it's more expensive than your typical flour tortilla or corn tortilla. But it is a more processed product, so you kind of expect that it's going to be a little bit more. And if you're on a diet where you're trying to cut out as much of the carbs and in particular gluten as possible, this may still be a good alternative. And a tasty change from your typical gluten-free tortilla. That uses something like, rice flour or potato flour or something. It may be worth it to you. It's tasty. I may actually go back and get some more to try out some of the other applications, like making taco shells or nachos using cheese. Feels weird to actually crisp these up and then potentially sprinkle more cheese and melt more cheese on top of that. I don't know how that will turn out, but what do you think? Would you want to give these a try? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, this is Mike Uyak for Recipe Redemption.